Hello everyone, it's Retroaction, and welcome to a GoBots review. This is Major Mo and Deep Dive, released by Tonka in 1984. Or 1983, 1984. This is part of Series 2 of GoBots. Of course, GoBots was a competitor to Transformers. Yeah, it was one of Transformers' as competitors in the 80s, in the 1980s, and of course it was released by Tonka. Tonka wanted to beat Hasbro to the punch and releasing, robot changing toys to the US, so they released GoBots a year earlier, in 1983. I haven't done a GoBots review yet, but I am here with two of the GoBots I've managed to pick up, because I managed to pick up some of these a while back. So we have Deep Dive here, these are both Guardians. We've got Deep Dive, who is a submarine. He is missing like an antenna that should be coming out the back, coming out of that section there, but never mind. Unfortunately, they are a bit loose, because these were some of the first figures to have ball joints, and therefore they have loosened up over time. I could tighten them, but I haven't bothered it. Anyway, but that's always going to be an issue with these figures. Looks good. It's a really nice navy blue submarine. Looks cool. There's some great detail on there. Got these fins on the back. This yellow stripe. Yeah, looks a pretty cool mode. There's even some wheels down there, so you can roll it along as if it was, in the water, chasing someone down in the ocean. There's some quite cool detail there. What could be like a control tower state part or something like that. Entry hatch, something. Yep, looks really cool. It's a different one. It's unique. A bit like Orknock from the Micromaster line from Kenner. There aren't many like ocean Transformers, like sea-based Transformers, unless you get to the Pretenders anyway. Yeah, it's quite a cool mode. Don't see it often. That's quite good. Really like that. Anyway, so the Transformer, what we're going to do is we're going to extend these parts down here. We're going to flip these parts down, and then this bit all opens up like so. But first, what you really want to do is, we do want to do this part first. We want to extend these legs out at the sides. There's a bit finicky because these joints are quite loose. Now you can see we can just pull these sections out, and that will have clearance for the legs. They like to go back in, so it's one of these ones where you've got to be careful, and you've got to flip this wheel section to the back there, like that. So you've got to pull out the legs like that, and once the legs are pulled out, of course you can get to these arms down there, and that reveals the head, and that is Deep Dive in robot mode. Again, looks quite good. It's a successful robot mode. It's a good head sculpt. This guy is from the Machine Robo toy line, which is what Tonka licensed from Bandai, or Popey, when Popey / Bandai created the line. Bandai took over, and basically, just like Hasbro licensed the car as Diaclone and Microchange, Tonka licensed Machine Robo and brought them over to the US. But this one is in fact a Robomachine. If you look in there, it is not Machine Robo, it is RM, and RM was Bandai's European version of GoBots. If you look in there, it doesn't say, it says Bandai. If we go, better get a better look at this guy. I only found out about this recently, that this guy was actually a Robomachine, which is cool, because I heard that this is the European version of GoBots. There you go. So you can see it says Bandai, so this is quite cool. So this is not an MR, this is an RM, so it's different. I don't know if that means it's rare or anything like that, but they did change the colour schemes of some of them, but this guy looks the same as the Tonka version. But yeah, he is in fact a Robomachine, the European toy line version. So that's quite cool. Yeah, it's a great figure. Looks good. Like I said before, his arms are on ball joints, which is a first. Not many of the G1 Transformers had this, and all the GoBots had this, so they're innovative for that reason as well. It looks good, yeah. It's quite poseable, obviously, in the arms. It's got loads of posability. But unfortunately, of course, it's really poseable, but the joints loosen up over time. A bit like the Action Masters. A lot like the Action Masters. It's got a good head sculpt, really like that. Got this nice chrome. Got a chromed head sculpt there, it's good. Got some metal on his legs as well. Really nice construction. Really cool. His legs aren't going to do much, but his arms do have a lot of movement. So that is Deep Dive. Very cool. That's him in robot mode. It's a great figure. Now I'm going to move on to Major Mo. He's quite a cool sports car or something. His tyres have, his wheels, his rubber tyres have deteriorated, unfortunately. But you know, he's a quite cool red and black car. Looks nice, quite sleek. Transform this one. He's quite cool. He's also a Guardian as well. We're going to flip out the rear section. That'll form his legs. Going to fold this part down like so. This bit's on like some sort of, it's on like a joint there or something. You know, you can push it back and it will form the back of the robot. And then you can pull out his arms, and his arms will move up as well. As you can see there, his arms are on like a mechanism. You pull them up and they slot into place on both sides, and that is Major Mo in robot mode. Again, another really cool looking GoBot. Sort of great head sculpt. Looks, you know, I don't think it's a chromed head sculpt, but he's got like a quite cool silver head sculpt there. Again, we've got metal legs, which is nice, and even though he doesn't have any weapons to hold, he has got slots in his hands, so that's interesting. He hasn't got ball joints, this guy. He's got like a bit like the mini Autobots, but he does have quite a good range of movement in his arms, and he looks very cool. So that is him. And his date stamp is, where is it? I think it's on, yes, it's here. Bandai is MR48, 1985. He's dated. He's dated 1985, so he's series 3, I think. Yeah, it'd be a series 3. So that's interesting. That's a cool figure. Now for some comparisons, I'm going to put him next to a Super GoBot, which are made to compete with Transformers. They're about the same scale as Transformers. As you can see, he's a lot taller. This is Spacey. She's from the Robomachines line. I've done a review on her before. And then we've got a Micromaster, which are of course released by Hasbro to compete with Micromachines. As you can see, they're obviously going to be smaller than the GoBot. But now, the real size comparison will be this mini Autobot. So we're going to transform Bumblebee quickly. This is probably what GoBots was trying to... Well, this is probably the Transformers at GoBot scale with best. As you can see, they are about the right scale. Bumblebee is actually a little smaller, but as you can see, they scale well together. So that is... that's an interesting size comparison. And back to the figure. Looks good. I really like the head sculpt. Looks really cool in both modes, this one. Yeah, that'll do it for this GoBots review. This has been Retroaction with GoBots Deep Dive and Major Mo from Tonka. Well, he's from Bandai. Anyway, this has been Retroaction. Thank you for watching. He's not a machine. He's a machined robot, that one, not a Robomachine like this one. Yep, this has been Retroaction. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye for now. Now, in fact, I'll be back with another... This is only part 1 of the GoBots review. I have a Leader 1 and Royal T coming up next, and I might get through all the other GoBots I have as well. So look out for more. This has been Retroaction. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye for now.